Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up. If you thought the 5 years old man was a roller coaster of emotional immaturity, wait until you meet his counterpart, the 3 years old woman. That's right, we're diving even deeper into the sandbox of adult relationships, where love meets finger painting and emotional growth spurts are measured in crayon heights. Prepare yourselves for a journey through the terrible twos and threes of romance, where timeouts are self-imposed and sharing feelings is more complicated than dividing the last cookie. Who said growing up was just for kids? Certainly not our inner toddlers. Meet Emma, our unsuspecting heroine. On the surface, she's got it all figured out. She's 32, in a committed relationship with Tom, and their Instagram feed is a highlight reel of couple goals. But underneath that perfectly curated exterior lurks a pint-sized emotional time bomb, just waiting to throw a tantrum in the baby food aisle of adult relationships. Why 3 years old, you ask? Well, it's not just because that's when we mastered the art of saying no to everything. It's the age when we start forming our first complex ideas about love, attachment, and why sharing toys is overrated. For many women, it's also when they start absorbing messages about relationships that are about as healthy as a diet of pure sugar and food coloring. So, let's peek into Emma's relationship and spot her inner 3-year-old in action. Buckle up, folks. It's going to be a bumpy ride down memory lane. 1. The chameleon of love. Emma prides herself on being the perfect girlfriend. She's so in tune with Tom's needs, she practically morphs into his ideal woman. Likes football suddenly? Check. Becomes a craft beer enthusiast overnight? You bet. Develops a mysterious allergy to her own hobbies? Absolutely. It's like watching a toddler at playtime, trying on different costumes faster than you can say identity crisis. Poor Tom is left wondering if he's dating a shapeshifter with a commitment to method acting. 2. The emotional weather forecaster. Emma's got a sixth sense for Tom's moods. She can predict a Tom tantrum from a mile away, like a toddler who knows exactly when mom's about to lose it over the crayon mural on the living room wall. She's so tuned in, she starts managing his emotions before he even knows he has them. Honey, I sense you're about to be upset that I forgot to buy milk, so I've already written a formal apology and booked us couples therapy. 3. The conflict conquistador. Emma approaches disagreements like a toddler determined to conquer the tallest playground slide, with a mix of enthusiasm, drama, and questionable strategy. When conflicts arise, she transforms into a pint-sized peacekeeper, armed with an arsenal of resolution techniques cobbled together from self-help books and couples therapy. Watch as she whips out a whiteboard for a full-scale relationship summit over misplaced socks, complete with color-coded feelings charts and stuffed animal mediators. It's exhausting and over the top, but oddly effective. Tom might be bewildered by her methods, but he's certainly well-versed in expressing his feelings and finding middle ground, even if it sometimes feels like he's in a very bizarre elementary school guidance counselor's office. 4. The love language librarian. Emma's not just fluent in love languages, she's got a PhD in them. She can write sonnets in acts of service, whisper sweet nothings in quality time, and perform interpretive dance in physical touch. But sometimes it feels less like genuine expression and more like she's frantically flipping through a how-to relationship manual, desperately searching for the right combination to unlock the happily ever after achievement. 5. The intimacy illusionist. Watch closely as Emma performs her greatest trick, creating the illusion of deep intimacy while actually revealing about as much as a concrete wall. She'll share carefully crafted vulnerable stories that sound deep but are about as revealing as a kiddie pool. Meanwhile, her real insecurities are locked away tighter than a toddler's grip on their favorite toy. The autonomy acrobat. Emma's all about independence in relationships. She practically waves pom-poms when Tom goes out with his friends. Have fun. Stay out late. Don't worry about me, she cheers, while her inner 3-year-old is secretly planning to build a pillow fort and cry into a tub of ice cream. She's like a little kid on their first day of preschool, bravely saying they're fine while clinging to mom's leg for dear life. Number 7. The perfection projectionist. In Emma's mind, Tom isn't just a boyfriend. He's a blank canvas onto which she projects every quality she's ever wanted in a partner. Real Tom likes beer and football. Emma's Tom is a sensitive poet who just happens to enjoy the occasional sports ball game. It's like watching a toddler with an imaginary friend, insisting that Mr. Snuggles the teddy bear is actually a world-renowned neurosurgeon with a penchant for tea parties. Number 8. The emotional time traveler. Emma has an uncanny ability to slip through the fabrics of time when it comes to emotions in her relationship. One moment, she's fully present, enjoying a romantic dinner with Tom. The next, she's emotionally teleported back to age 3, experiencing the joy of her first ice cream cone or the devastation of a broken toy, all triggered by some innocuous comment or gesture from Tom. Watch as she oscillates between mature adult and temperamental toddler faster than you can say emotional whiplash. Tom might compliment her new haircut, sending her into a giddy, childlike state of glee, complete with clapping hands and a happy dance. But let him forget to text back promptly, and suddenly she's reliving every abandonment fear from her childhood, curled up in a blanket fort of insecurity. It's like dating a quantum physicist specializing in emotional time warps. You never quite know which version of Emma you'll get from one moment to the next. 9. The emotional archaeologist. Emma's memory for relationship history would impress an elephant. She can recall verbatim a mildly insensitive comment Tom made 3 years, 2 months, and 5 days ago during a full moon while Mercury was in retrograde. It's like she's got a tiny archivist in her brain, meticulously cataloging every emotional paper cut for future reference. Remember that time in 2019 when you said my hair looked fine instead of beautiful? Let's unpack that, shall we? 10. The self-sacrifice martyr. In Emma's world, love is measured by how much you can give up for your partner. Hobbies? Sacrificed. Personal space? What's that? She's one step away from dramatically throwing herself on a figurative relationship grenade while shouting, "Take me instead!" It's the relationship equivalent of a toddler insisting on giving you their last cookie, then bursting into tears because they really wanted that cookie. Now, before we all start feeling too smug, let's remember that we've all got a bit of the 3-year-old woman in us. She's that part that still believes in fairy tale endings, thinks love should be as easy as sharing a snack, and occasionally wants to throw a tantrum when things don't go her way. The key is not to exile our inner 3-year-old to the timeout corner of our psyche, but to acknowledge her, understand her, and maybe occasionally let her watch some cartoons while the adults handle the relationship stuff. Remember, your inner 3-year-old is just trying to navigate the complicated world of adult love with a toolkit better suited for playground romance. With a little self-awareness, a lot of humor, and maybe some cookies, because hey, we all need comfort sometimes, we can learn to balance our adult selves with our inner children. After all, the best relationships have room for both mature love and the occasional pillow fort. So there you have it, folks. The 3-year-old woman in all her sippy cup glory. From emotional time travel to conflict resolution strategies that would make a preschool teacher proud, we've seen that adulting in relationships is often just elaborate pretend play. But here's the thing. Acknowledging our inner 3-year-old isn't about pointing fingers or playing the blame game. It's about recognizing that we're all just big kids trying to figure out this crazy thing called love. Sometimes we get it right, sometimes we end up with emotional scraped knees, but we keep on trying. So the next time you find yourself in a relationship quandary, take a moment to check in with your inner toddler. Are they throwing a tantrum? Trying to hog all the toys? Or maybe they just need a nap and a cuddle. Remember, the best relationships have room for both our adult selves and our inner children. After all, love is serious business, but it should also be fun. So go ahead, build that pillow fort, have that deep conversation, and don't forget to enjoy some cookies along the way. Because in the end, growing up is optional, but growing together, that's the real adventure. Now, if you'll excuse me, I think it's time for my afternoon juice box and a quick game of emotional hide and seek. Who's in? Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe and share.